if you took Big Bang Theory and put that in the 80s, it would be canceled within like 2 episodes, right? Because they don't have the views anymore. So social media is where we're getting a lot of attention now. So I'm going to show you some of these hacks on how the algorithms work and how like eyeballs look at information and show up to events, do things, register for classes, right? Whatever you are trying to get them to do on social media. Awesome. So you're going to be in teams. So that team is huge back here. So these are some, you're smart up here. Should be a good team. So we're going to have teams. We're going to compete with one another on a couple of good things. This is exciting. So first thing, within your team, I want you to take out your cell phone and look at 2 things. One is what shows up on your favorites on your phone. So basically that bottom row, right? So on this bottom row, what do you have as your favorites? What do you keep on that bottom row? And then second question, what are sort of apps you have on your first page? So not like on your third page, but on your home screen, what apps are on your home screen? So talk to one another, kind of come up with a list of things that are showing up on your group's front page and on your favorites tabs.
My favorite, so I keep on there. I'm going to use the other ones really often. I took everything off the and I'm betting this is the default.
It works. That works.
I don't believe in folders until mentioned.
You feel socially obligated to have your phone on the bottom? Yeah, no. I do, but for contacts. So I use the phone, but only for contacts. Yeah, I use it.
So what's your Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. I'm not really I only
One more minute.
Oh, it's on site.
So far from the
All right, who has the app they're embarrassed of? There's someone at this table. It's like, oh, I'm not going to show them that this app's on my.
I still have Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go? What's that? I mean, you can just say them out loud. You're not going to turn anything in. There's no grade. Just say them out loud. All right, let's come back together. So what's on your favorites? What things that came out in your groups on your favorites on the bottom bar? Text message. Phone. Email. Calendar. Safari. Oh, Safari. No. Chrome. No. What else? Yeah, no judgment. Maps. Okay, what kind of apps were on your first page? Pinterest.
Pandora.
Instagram. Pandora. Yelp. YouTube. Lachey. Snapchat. Waze. Podcasts.
Camera.
Pictionary. I like that. Okay, so here's a pro tip, and I'll tell you, every social media marketing agency in the world. So I don't know if most of you probably don't know my background, but before academia, I come from the industry, Whiting & Kennedy, which is one of the largest PR social media marketing agencies in the United States and world. And what our job is to do is to take cool things and make them uncool, right? So Snapchat, everyone's using Snapchat. What can we as Pepsi do to make that uncool, right? Because we're trying to start putting ads into Snapchat, right? And eventually it'll be like Facebook where there's ads everywhere and people go somewhere else, right? So this is what we do. The best information I could possibly have on my demographic is what apps are on their front page of on their phone, because that's where their eyeballs are going, right? So even when you talk to your students or advisees or whoever you're trying to reach out to, hey, what do you keep on the front page of your phone? I ask my students this all the time in the class, right? But what I do this once a week, but even if you do this once a month, put a calendar reminder. Once a month, go to your app store on your phone and look to see what are the trending free apps, right? So I do this every single week, but if there's a new app that shows up on that trending and it's Pokemon Go, someone had Pokemon Go. If that's Pokemon Go, I'm like, what is this thing, right? It should, a trigger goes off in my head that says maybe I should figure out what this is because there's a lot of eyeballs on that thing, all right? So if you start seeing, every week there'll be a lot of the same app. When that new thing comes up, I ask people, right? Are people using that on this campus? All right. Even if it's for short term, there's some apps that get used for a week, 2 weeks. It's a good way I can try to make that uncool, basically, right? Hey, use that to message people. But that's a great resource, all right, of those apps on your cell phone. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do a new piece. Who's ever heard of influencers, like social media influencers? Okay. What are they? What are social media influencers? Lachey, are you an influencer? You wish you were an influencer?
Sometimes I do. I don't know if I can handle the cyberbullying that influencers get.
Okay.
But you get a lot of free makeup and free everything.
Yeah, you get free stuff.
Everyone wants you to try everything, so
Yep.
you can post about it.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, so the business side of this, and I'll tell you, every organization does this, and I kind of train nonprofits, and nonprofits are using it. Paul Print does this. And everyone from Nike does this. So they're basically, who has a lot of followers on Instagram specifically? YouTube is all this the same way. So our students, right? And so I still consult for Nike and specifically for college-age people to buy expensive shoes, right? So through Nike, if Nike wants someone to show up to a Nike opening, they're less likely to have a Kobe Bryant and more likely to have this YouTube guy who makes these parody videos on how people shoot shots, right? A makeup place is less likely now to get college students to show up to a makeup place, less likely to get J-Lo from 10 years ago. Now they'll get a 16-year-old on YouTube who gets 4 million views, right? So these influencers hold a lot of weight and they're undervalued right now. So they're basically just people with a lot of followers, all right? So instead of going to Good Morning America, go to a 16-year-old who has views. That gets more views than Good Morning America, which is kind of the old school way of thinking of you're popular when you make it on Good Morning America, right? It's not the case, right? My first year, I was the newbie. I worked for the Obama campaign full time, and I was the newbie. It's hey, I'm going to go work on getting some bloggers to talk about the Obama campaign. Oh, whatever, that's beneath us, right? We're going for the New York Times. We're going for the Post, right? Okay, well, I do my little thing over here where everyone thinks it's a joke, right? At the end of 3 months, I had more views than them over there at New York Times and the Post, right? Good Morning America. These things that are seen as, oh, that's Little League over there. It's a 16. What can a 16-year-old do for me? Well, a 16-year-old can get you more views at a much lower price. So how can we use this for Maryville? This is how we do it with Paul Print as well. So if you have Instagram, take it out. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. This is free. You do not have to pay a dime for this. I'm going to show you how to hack the system. So pull up Instagram. It is legal. It is legal. So pull up Instagram if you have it. So know that, especially with our students, Instagram and Snapchat are the kings right now as far as time spent on the app. Snapchat, just again, this is a 10,000 view approach. Snapchat owns themselves, so they are not as machine-like in being successful, right? As far as views, analytics, it's not a machine like Facebook. Facebook, if you're a business, I would spend 90% of your budget on Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. So Instagram's algorithm, how they get views, is the exact same as Facebook, and Facebook knows what they're doing. They've spent billions of dollars on this. Snapchat's just kind of figuring it out as they go along. So but Snapchat gets a lot of views. It's just more difficult to optimize for Snapchat because they're figuring things out,
but
right?
do you think people innately know, they don't know that?
No.
But they know, this feels more authentic to me.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's
Yeah.
why it's more
And Snapchat gets a lot more backlash for changes they make because they're just kind of winging it. It's like, oh, let's try this. And then millions of people are upset, right? Instagram is part of Facebook when Facebook doesn't make radical changes without, months of testing. Yeah. So Instagram, we're on Instagram. If you hit the magnifying glass, the search, hit search, and you can just type in Maryville University, for example. Now you're not going to choose Maryville University, like not the profile Maryville. You see you have this, I'm just typed it in, I didn't hit enter. So you get this drop down. What you want is the location option, right? It has a little, teardrop looking thing. It has the address, 650 Maryville University Drive. That's the one you click. What shows up on your phone kind of looks like this. There's a map on the top half of your phone. Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? You lose anyone? So this is getting a little technical, but this is key. Nike does the exact same thing, okay? So you're at this page? Okay. So what you do, and you only have to do this once every semester. This is not something you do every week. It's going to take you spend about an hour of it, but you pick on what is this, Jello shots? Okay. So, but literally we don't care at this point, right? We don't care what it is. We click on the first one. This is Rafaela. Yeah, okay. Rafaela. So I'm on her, so you have to click on her profile. So click the image, then click on her name, goes to her profile. She has over 1,000 followers. Now, I'll give you
Wait, how do you know that?
pro tip, you go to her profile.
Aimability or whatever?
Yep, you click on her name. Yep, right there.
Follower. Okay.
Yeah, you won't follow her. Yep, so you're on this page. Now, you may not know this. I'm going to tell you this because we do this every semester as an assignment in my class. 1,000 won't be an influencer for Maryville. So you won't know this, though, until you try this. So basically, you think, oh, 1,000 looks good. You write her name down. Go back to your main screen, your search, and you click on the second picture. That's Maryville U. So you're not going to use that one. You can have them say whatever you want them to say. The third one is the Rocky effect. Okay, 1,800. Getting better. But look at this Rocky effect. I also look, so there's two things you're looking for. You're looking at number of followers. You do not care how many people they're following. You only care about the people that following the person. And look to see if they're an actual Maryville, they're part of the Maryville community, right? Some of these people may be checking in at Maryville because they went to one event, but they don't go here and they don't plan to come back for another year when this event comes back. Looking at this person, I would assume, I don't know. I would lean toward this is not a Maryville community person. I'm not sure. On quick, does anyone know who this person is? Okay. No, this is the Rocky effect. Yeah.
Maybe part of the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. Perfect. So I look through there, and I just kind of, so especially it's easier for you guys since it's just Maryville, I can easily look through and see there's not that many Maryville pictures. I would not use that person. Even if this person has 5 million followers, right? If they just came for one event, they would not make my influencer list, okay? So I basically just keep going down. I spend about an hour doing this. Going through, I'll tell you from our experience, we hover around the sometimes 4,000, definitely 5,000, 6,000 followers. There are a few Maryville students with that many followers that are Maryville community. I'll tell you, those are the heavy hitters. Those are the ones we find every semester. So you make that list, right? And just click on pictures, go to profiles, right? Make that list of individuals, right? That then becomes your influencer list. Now for Maryville, you do not have to pay for that. We get them all the time. They promote our stuff all the time, and we never pay them, right? Outside of Maryville, Nike has to pay, right? When you have 10 million followers, that's when you get free products and whatnot. Maryville, you don't have to do that, right? But you reach out to them, you DM them, direct message them through Instagram, through the Life Coach or whatever. If you have an Instagram account, I follow the Life Coach account. I know, yeah. So if you have an Instagram account, DM through that. Don't be like the creepy person who emails them from your official Maryville email. I was looking at your Instagram account, right? That's a little creepy, right? So DM them through the service that you use to find them, right? You DM them and say, basically, one, you boost their ego. Hey, it's great to see how active you are on campus, right? We would like to offer you something, a t-shirt, Aaron has a new resume check thing. We're going to offer you free, right? You're going to be the first one. Paw Print, what we do is we do a Humans of Maryville, right? Which it's not even a full article. It's like a paragraph. We take a picture of you, make a paragraph, right? Maybe for life coaches. Please, advisee. We would love to, I don't know, spotlight you on the Instagram page. Have that person come in, take a nice picture, whoever has the newest phone, ask them a question, right? Post it, right? Tag them. What they're going to do, a lot of college students this age, they want to humble brag, right? And it works, because I tell you, and it works for Maryville because we do it all the time. So there's a picture of that person, cool quote that makes them look cool and whatnot, and we have them black and white, they get to pick their filter, right? And then it comes from our account, they will share it. All right, they're going to share that post. Guess what? That post is a free advertisement to their 5,000 followers. All right? A majority of them will likely be Maryville people. All right? So you can kind of see how you can hijack this for whatever you want. We've done this for the Golden Louis. We've done this for people just going to the website. We've seen website spikes. We do this like every third week. We'll do one of these like influencer tryouts as an assignment. Spikes, right? If you, I don't know, whatever your KPI, whatever your like call to action, what you're trying to do, tie it into that, right? Basically, you're going to have them sell what you want, but it makes them look cool, right? So they're going to be happy to do so. Just don't message them and say, hey, will you tell people to come to our event? And they probably won't answer you or send you a bad emoji or something, poop emoji on something on the way back. Does that make sense? Right? So I tell you what, just for like a couple minutes, look through that search and see how many followers we can get. Like what's the most followers you can find? Who has the most followers? And right now it's summer, so it may be a little bit more difficult because people may not have checked in recently. But you can find something. So you're looking for a number of followers, and do they check out as far as are they Maryville?
So we should probably do this after start.
Yeah, you can do pub. Yep.
Right? We should do this after start.
Yes, absolutely.
New incoming students posted something on Instagram. We're like, whoa, they have a lot of followers.
Perfect, absolutely.
So we know in advance,
Yep.
being proactive,
Perfect.
new incoming student.
And tell them, right? I don't know if you tell them anything on social media for start. Do you tell them like use the hashtag or anything for start, right? So whenever you tell that spiel of use this hashtag, check in at Maryville, right? That's an easy thing. A lot of people will check in, so that'll help you build that list for sure.
So how do, when you say use that hashtag, so we have like even told our Saints Nations leaders to use the hashtag, take pictures, do stuff throughout the day, and that like just generally that does nothing. Like
Yeah.
so how like if you're trying to start a trend,
Yeah.
or you want a group to do that, how do you? I mean, do you just pick like say okay this table instead of trying to get our mass group of 30 kids who are there, like what is the approach?
For like hashtags specifically, I'll tell you hashtags are sort of the social media 1.0 thing of like we're gonna make this organic and people are just gonna use hashtags. What I'd say like nowadays you really don't push that. It kind of either happens on its own. There's other things you can do though. Basically people to see you, there's other ways to do that, right? And I can go over some of those algorithms for sure, how to get eyeballs. But usually hashtag wise is gonna be more organic, right, if they want to. But there's a lot easier ways to get new eyeballs, for sure. It was part of one episode. It was part of one, yes.
Oh, there it is.
I keep finding just over 1,000.
Summer, yeah, you may. Yeah.
2,000er.
Okay.
Hey, can you make that happen?
What's that?
Can you make me into an influencer?
All right, do one more minute. If you're finding some, share them with your table, who you're finding. Yeah.
How many followers do you have?
Yeah.
Don't make
Hey.
it work.
They'll totally put it, if they got a lot, they'll put it in.
Hey, I've been preaching for like 2 years now that we need to give a full ride scholarship to an influencer. If you've got millions of followers, the ROI for that as a university is amazing. And say that you have to post each week about Maryville. There are millions of followers, that will be way more worth more than one person's tuition. For sure. All right, let's chat. Who'd you find? Who? Followers. Who do you have? Gavin. How many does he have?
He has 2,194.
Perfect. And that's a Maryville person?
This is the Maryville restaurant.
Perfect, right? All right. So then we do this individually, and then we take those names. That makes the list, right? So that's a for sure list. Who else but Gavin?
I found a Katie Browner.
I do too.
Okay.
3107.
Perfect. Katie. And it's Maryville. She's got Maryville pictures or?
She's not Maryville pictures. She's definitely a Maryville student. Like she's like going into sophomore year. So.
Okay. Perfect. We put Katie on this.
She posts a lot of herself.
Well, that's fine.
Maybe we get her a Maryville T-shirt.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah. T-shirt, post, come to this event, right? The networking event. Boom, right? Have a selfie at the networking event. Who else? What else you got? Any other names?
I didn't write down who, I just wrote down the numbers.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. What was your highest number you found?
2,114.
2,114?
Lynn, something, Faye,
Perfect, right? All right, so we take that list, right? And we go through, I mean, you'll write down, for like when we do this as a class assignment, they write down probably 30 to 40 names, and then we just take the top 5 or so, right? If we take those top 5, DM them, literally, that's your exact step-by-step process. Take that name, those names, DM them, say how cool they are, right? Let them humble brag a little bit, and then tie in whatever will help you, right? So give them something free, make them feel special because you're trying to promote something. For example, for Golden Louis, we had some influencers. They were given VIP area at the Golden Louis, which absolutely meant nothing, right? I mean, it's in the DUC like every other event, right? But you're part of VIP. You could bring a friend to the VIP section, whatnot. I mean, you feel cool, right? One of my students works at Ballpark Village, and they give out VIP tickets all the time, and like bring your friends. Have you done this, like Ballpark Village, like VIP things? People feel so cool. Hey, I've got 10 tickets in my VIP section. Come with me. Guess what? That means absolutely nothing, right? But you feel cool texting your friends, hey, let's go to this bar. I have VIP tickets. That costs the bar nothing. It costs Golden Louis literally nothing, right? It was just imaginary VIP section. But they came, they shared it. So we reached out to them, DM'd them, and said, we want to invite you to our VIP section. Come by the annex, or take a picture, do a quick interview. We made a post. They shared it. Got a lot of views, a lot of traffic coming in. Right? So we gave them something. At the end of the day, that thing we gave them didn't cost us anything, but they felt cool, right? And then we got something in return. Right? I've done this before for organizations where we like made badges, right? Or custom frames that you're part of a movement for social media. So if you did this, you'd get this frame or you'd get this badge that you can share on social media that made you feel cool, right? Didn't cost anything to do any of that stuff, but it helped us. Does that make sense? Does that make pretty clear, like step by step, how to do that? Any questions about influencers?
Is there like strategy so there's probably students that we would love for them to be influencers because they already like represent exactly what we're looking for, but maybe they only have like 2,000. Is there strategy behind like help them become an influencer so then they can, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's going back to Lachey and making an influencer. That's going to be you can try to support 100 people and maybe one of them makes it. It's basically someone that's a good storyteller that people get engaged with, that have some niche thing that they do, right? That gets kind of active that way. And just, sociable. That's all the games, giving high fives out, whatnot. So I guess give high fives. That would be the the tip from Maryville. Yeah.
So my thinking about for us, like, let's say the girl with the Jello shots was the one that had
Mhm.
the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Go. Yeah.
But at any point, do you take into account that, like,
Yeah.
do we want that person being our influencer?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So I'm gonna give you the Maryville answer, right? Because that's a better question for like a Nike, right? Because you can have 5 million followers, but if they are some crazy neo-Nazi followers, we don't want to be associated, right? Assuming the majority of your followers from Maryville, we don't have a large, hate group or something that's going to get you in trouble. I would assume Jello Shot Girl, and I don't mean to be mean, I just don't know her name, right? Whatever that person is, whoever that person is. If a lot of those followers are partiers on campus, that's our population.
She was
Yeah.
posting about her
18th birthday.
Okay, well.
So I remember it's my 18th birthday.
Yeah. I would lean for that specific. If I know she's 18 and I know she's posting a lot of drinking pictures, then I would lean again to perhaps not, right? I think that's a conversation to have like with your leadership team. From the PR side, like I'm the devil on your shoulder says she has a lot of views, but like the legal side also is, hey, there's some crisis opportunities here. So if it's very apparent that we got issues, yeah, that'd be a conversation for sure. Yep. Some other pro tips for like Instagram. Oh, by the way, if you want week by week updates on what's new in social media, you should follow Keeping Social on Instagram.
I just did.
It's a show recorded every Friday, and it's a 60-second long show on what's new in social media. Plug. Just myself. Some other things though that are new on Instagram that you might want to try, and I only know this because I noticed the life coaches came out with their new Instagram page. What are they called? The saved stories.
The highlights.
Highlights, yeah. Those are getting a lot of traffic, so I'm not going to bore you on how to do that, but you can YouTube it, right? What are highlights on highlight stories on Instagram? Those are very successful, as well as Instagram TV. Yep.
As the person who's doing the Instagram right now, what do you think are highlights that are like worth what stories make the best kind of highlights? Like right now, my personal account has me with a QT slushie that's rainbow because I liked it. So like that's different than what I'm going to put on the Maryville Life Coaches.
Yeah. So two different things. So one are just stories, right? So stories are Facebook has them. Snapchat created stories, but they basically live for 24 hours, right? So it's a picture, it's a video that only lives for 24 hours. For those, it's very informal, right? So the idea is that an Instagram story is something you can just take a quick selfie instead of something you're going to post on Instagram, which will take like 20 selfies and pick the best one, right? So the stories are a little more informal, right? You can do things, LJs that people are playing basketball and that little thing and whatnot. The highlights, though, what I would suggest and what a lot of brands, it's still new, right? But what brands are using right now are making themes. So Start would be a fantastic highlight, right? So I'm sure, I don't know if the Instagram account was open or up during Start. Was it? Okay.
First year excursions.
You had it for excursions? So what I would do for highlight, and I don't want to get super in the weeds right now, but like make a title screen just on canva.com, unless you have Photoshop. But go to canva.com, make a title page that says 2018 excursions, right? And then behind that, put all the stories from that day. So then when you open up your Instagram account, there are all these highlights and it has a theme, right? It says excursions. I click on that and I can see all the excursions. And that'll be up for the next year whenever you take it down, right? The next one, using the exact same title card that you made in Canva, right? You make it once, change the name. The next one is like, there's always like orientation, right? Make an orientation one. One is some like concert or like first week. There's always crazy stuff going on the first week, right? And those stay up there for 6 months. You can change those whenever.
Cool.
Yep, that's a very tactical thing you can do. Yep.
What about, I have a friend that works for NBC Sports,
Mhm.
their social HGTV or social, or what do they call them, social episodes.
Yeah.
So like Snapchat, you can go in and they're essentially produced videos, right?
Yep.
60 seconds long. Here's a clip. The youths accepting that
Yeah.
or rejecting that.
Very well. So,
Which one?
so the long form video is going over really well. I'll show you. This cannot leave this room, and I'm taping this, so I'll have to take that part out. But there's one of my clients is looking at dreams. So this is an app. It's a free app. It's just dreams. It looks like it's a gradient scale app thing. You open this up, and it is TV on your phone, but it's made for. But it's like Animal Channel. It's Discovery Channel. What else is there? There's like HGTV, Food Network, right? So there's all these TV channels, but you can watch it mobile-wise, right? And these are the actual channel. This is the actual whatever they're playing on Food Network right now, right? That we're showing that the college-age student is used to watching stuff like this, so you can make those traditional videos long form on video this way, up and down. It's by 9:16. That's the size. But you can take like Instagram, for example. They just came out with last week Instagram TV, which is like the long form videos. So like my show is 60 seconds is the max amount that you can make an Instagram post. Instagram TV, I think right now it's 10 minutes, and then they're going to play around with how long they can make it. But yeah, absolutely. So any videos like this have a high view rate, especially on social, for sure. But here's the thing. So video-wise, like the go-to way, I would still say if you're going to make a video for social media, you're going to make video for anything, career and development, you're going to make a really slick video for your area, you always shoot horizontal. If you're going to make something you're going to edit, right? If you're making stories, just shoot like this because you're never going to edit it, you're never going to use it past that day. If you're going to make a video you want on a website, if you want a video that's going to have B-roll and edits, you always shoot horizontal, and then you can crop to fit if you wanted something for like Instagram TV, right? But if you want a video that's going to be real solid, you're going to use it for months and months and months, never shoot the entire thing like this, right? Always like that. And then if you use the rule of thirds, you know that, what's the rule of thirds, Alicia? You know?
You have a screen, basically you can divide it in 9 sections. It's more appealing to the eye, things are not centered.
Yeah.
Things are off-centered, so having a picture is easier to see than to explain. Basically, your eye likes things off-centered, your eye likes things in groups of 3, as opposed to groups of 2.
Yeah, so you can turn this on your phone, where like in the settings of your camera, you can turn these grids on. So if this is your phone, you're holding it horizontal. Picture there's a tic-tac-toe board on your phone. You can turn this on in settings if you want. And you want the person's face or the puppy or the goose or whatever you're looking at to be 90% of the time at one of these 2 spots, right? One of those intersecting points, not in the middle, not the face way down here with all the sky above them, right? One of those 2. View rates are a lot longer, about 3 times longer. If you frame a person into one of those. Even if you watch all of our videos, like on YouTube, Maryville videos, you'll see the majority are lined up like that. That's a good point. What other questions? Any other questions? I'm kind of jump around a little bit there. Yeah.
This is, so when you told us to look at Instagram and search the location, I had read somewhere that prospective college students are viewing campuses that way.
Oh yeah.
So, like, do you still see that as being true? So they
Mhm.
do that to see like a more authentic story because it's not just what the university posted, but it's what everybody
Yep.
in that location posted.
Absolutely. It's really a more organic, like Yelp,
Okay.
right? So even when you're posting, you should always be tagging your location, right? But yeah, I mean, not with just universities, places to eat or hotels or party places, bars, right? That people will look up for sure. It's more organic. I'm not gonna tell you how to do this, but like those review sites, you can trick those. Like if you know what you're doing, you can trick all of those, like review sites like Yelp and You can even trick Glassdoor.com. Like you can trick some of that stuff. But with like social media tag-ins, it's going to be obvious if the same person or a bot posted 30 good pictures of students smiling and the professors high-fiving, which, right? It's going to be more organic for this tag, for sure. That's a good point. Really good. Really good.
Sometimes we talked about whether we should post something on Instagram or Facebook or
Mm-hmm.
Snapchat. Is there a strategy in whether or not we overload all three or more of those things? Or
Yeah.
pick what you do?
So what I would say is it depends on your resources, right? So the golden rule, you want to give users content as however they naturally want the content, right? So if they are like anti-Instagram, I'm on the Snapchat boat, give them the Snapchat wise. If you have very little resources, then yeah, you're going to post them on all the sites, assuming it's one person. Preferably, you would offset them so it's not the same post going out the same day. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, trying to make this. So, I just spoke to Ameren last week, and they're talking about they're going to do a lot of new engaging stuff online. And it's like they were overwhelmed because there's so much work to do, right? Because it's like vlog and a podcast and social media and blogging, right? So I'm going to give you the super quick hack that all big companies are doing that basically dilutes all of that to 10% of the time, okay? So if you're thinking of all these things to do. So when you have an event, excursions, okay? When you have an excursion day, plan it out for that day that at the trampoline place, Sky Zone, at Sky Zone, we will have a life coach interview an incoming student, right? With trampolines in the background, okay? So we're gonna sit there, we're gonna interview this, that's gonna be a video, all right? Talk with one another for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe another one, do 3 of them, right? Now that took at max 1 hour to create, all right? You take that video, that goes on YouTube, that goes on Facebook as a video, right? You rip the audio out of that video, now that becomes a podcast. Put that on SoundCloud, all right? Take that video, say exactly what they said, make it bullet points, now that's a blog. All right, the exact same thing, take their interview, make it a blog. Take a screenshot of the video of interviewing Dustin, the new freshman, take a screenshot of that, put a really nice, cool looking font on top of my picture, put that on, that's an Instagram post, all right? So instead of thinking, oh, I need to make a video and I need to create something for Facebook, then I need to create something for Instagram, then, right? It's all the same content, just like if you're here kind of Canva fans. So Canva can create a lot of content within 20 minutes, right? So you don't think that, oh, I need to go do this thing for one piece of content, right? You could go to an event and make 20 pieces of content. And then if you use like Hootsuite, or you guys use any of these like scheduling mechanisms for Hootsuite, that'll help you sound a little more organic so it's not the same thing going out all the time. Don't pick the same time, right? So if you're posting every single day at 2, then it's going to kind of show off that you're not doing it for real. So Hootsuite helps a lot. Pro tip, know when to turn it off. So that might give it away. A couple of weeks ago, an organization hired me to help them because they were in a crisis. That one, they posted during a crisis, a national crisis, and it was, hey, look at me, buy my thing. They got a lot of heat, right? There was a national crisis going on, so why are you trying to sell to people? So they also, that was about a year ago, the same organization a couple weeks ago during Memorial Day, they had, hey, it's Memorial Day. It's great, thank you to our fallen vets and people who have served this country, great. Buy a mattress. It wasn't a mattress, but now buy a thing, right? So we're not using Hootsuite to sell when we're not supposed to be selling or taking advantage of a time we're not supposed to take advantage. If there's a university that has a shooting on campus for at least that day, right? If there's a shooting at a university in any state, right? That's a good point. Does that kind of help though? Kind of the different areas. And what's really good is Instagram is connected to Facebook. So especially to get the parent demographic to show parents, hey, my kid's going to an awesome school, right? you can direct push to Facebook through Instagram, which is really nice. Really good. And a hack, does anyone use Facebook stories? Has anyone ever clicked on a Facebook story? You've clicked on it before? Okay. Okay, very good. So here's a pro tip. I'll tell you, so this Facebook story, it's the exact same thing as Snapchat and Instagram. It's the exact same thing. But here's the thing. No one really clicks on those very often. But here's the life hack. You can push Instagram. It's like literally one extra button to push your story to Facebook. Even though no one's going to click on it, guess what happens? When they pull out your phone, they see Maryville Life Coaches on the very top of their Facebook. Right? Even if they don't watch it, it's advertisement. So if I'm a parent, if I'm a parent, I can constantly see, wow, Maryville's active. The life coaches, this is what they weren't just telling me this before we came here. They're really active every single day. All right? They can at least see that brand recognition. A library, anyone, all right, of your branding. That's good. Makes sense? Any questions? Oh, 8 minutes. So what do you want to hear about? One of two things. Algorithms, how the algorithms work, or voice? What are you more interested in? What would you get use out of more?
What do you mean by voice?
Voice is going to be the largest thing this year. So like Alexa voice, Siri voice, you want to know how to voice stuff, or how the algorithms work to make sure you come up ahead of other people. Algorithms. 2, Alexa. Okay, you want Alexa? Okay.
Isn't there a university that is giving out Alexa to some new first-year students as a pilot to see?
SLU is. Yeah, and there are there's a few others, which there's someday we hopefully could get in that direction. That would be really exciting. But so Alexa, anything voice-wise, so Paw Print coded the first Maryville Alexa skill. Going forward, we're creating more Alexa skills because specifically with college-age individuals, that voice is king, simply because I can multitask, right? I can't do homework, I can't work out and watch a YouTube video. I can't cook while I watch a YouTube video. But I can listen to a podcast, or I can talk to it and let it talk back to me while I'm getting ready in the morning, right? So a super undervalued area is coding these Alexa skills, which sounds like super scary, but if you devote 2 weeks to it, you could have a life coach Alexa skill, right? Or a library Alexa skill. And you're not competing with many people. Like a year from now, yeah, you're going to compete just like you compete with everyone else on Facebook. Right now, you're not competing with much on Alexa, so you're going to get most of the ears. Yep.
Okay, being someone who does not have an Alexa,
yep.
Tell me what a life coach skill, like what a skill, what are you teaching it, or what is it?
So what is one of the top questions you're asked as a life coach? Like constantly, you're asked what question?
I mean, how do I register?
How do I register? Drop dates, right? You make those into skills, right? And if I can, because like my dentist, like I don't like to talk on the phone. I can do all my scheduling through an app, or they text message me. I don't have to talk to a human, right? As a communication person, I like that, right? I can just hit Y to confirm my dentist date, right? If I can do that easily, and I feel more connected because I could pick up the phone, but it's not an emergency. I could wait a couple days, and maybe I'll see my life coach on campus. It's more engagement because I don't feel obligated or feel bad asking the same question 6 times.
So Alexa has this. We code Alexa to have a skill to know that registration is November 15th.
Yep.
And so students walking around the room and says, Alexa, when's registration? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I can tell you exactly what day, and you can plug yourself, right? So once they say the ad drop day is blah blah blah. By the way, this Friday is pizza with professors. That used to be a thing, pizza with professors. Or, I don't know, you make something with DUC, right? You can plug something else. So you're selling on the back end. Like ask something.
Code all that individually. It could like code to a database that already exists, that's already built, or can it?
So once you've created all those like frequently asked questions, you can just code one time for the advertisement, right? And the ad will just pop in the back of all of the answers.
And where does that pull from? Where's the ad pulling from?
What you're typing in, so it's Alexa Lambda. You just type it in. Yep.
Okay.
You just do it once though. You just type it and then copy paste for all the responses. Yep.
But if it's a dynamic thing like an event, do you have to reprogram that every time?
Yeah. So if you
That's gonna change.
Yeah. So if you want to promote something weekly, then you'll have to just like think of it almost like The Rock, right? You promote it, and then once that thing is done, you have to get rid of the rock or the windows or whatnot. But if you want to promote something for a month,
You're saying you can code like if the single code generally like the responses registration date does not change, it's going to be the same thing anytime a student asks, right?
yeah,
But then you can code a separate message for each week.
yeah,
You're saying?
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
Cost of
No, so that's a great thing about Alexa skills right now. They're completely free, completely free. So it's almost like if you go 15, not quite 15, 12, 13 years ago, Facebook, and maybe 10 years ago, Facebook ads were super cheap. Back then, if you knew that I'm going to put out all my efforts into this, you would cash out, right? It's almost like having Apple stock when they were created. Right now, Alexa skills are so cheap they're free. In a couple years, yeah, they're going to start charging, right? But at this point, it's so new that you're not competing.
Does the person have to download that skill set to their Alexa?
Yes. Yes. So they have to download the Life Coach. The master plan doesn't leave this room, is to have a Maryville app. So Life Coach questions can be in that app. What time's the basketball game is going to be, so everything will be encompassed in one app. But at this point, if you're going to create something for yourself, it would be one app, like Life Coach at Maryville app.
And it could be cool if it matched like our knowledge articles in my community, so like it's the same message no matter where you answer it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, awesome. So any questions about anything whatsoever social media? I'm a dork when it comes to social media, so I can tell you.
How do the algorithm? I'm just kidding.
Super quick algorithm. So 1 minute. So on like Instagram, Facebook, if you have 800 friends, how many friends shows up on your feed?
Like 5. 26.
150 have the possibility of showing up. So if you follow 800 people, there's no way the majority of them are ever going to show up. So even if they like the Life Coach page, you could eventually get knocked off, right? If I follow you, you'll be in there for at least a week or two in my 150, but it'll get knocked off. So this is how you stay on that list and be, when they pull up Instagram, you're number 1, all right? So you can't pay for it. It's not by like paying Instagram or anything. So a couple things. It is, biggest thing is comments. So you need people to engage with your content, right? So commenting is the best way. That'll boost you quicker than anything whatsoever, all right? So I'll just give you that one. If you could do one thing, it's to get people to comment on your post. Therefore, make them do it. So ask them, what Maryville thing are you wearing today? Or what are you looking forward to for the first week of the semester? Like, ask them questions, or send the emoji of how you're feeling today. You'll note, if you're an Instagram person, you'll know that a lot of influencers do this, where they'll say, hey, just send an emoji of what you're feeling. Because the algorithm doesn't know the difference at this point of a good comment and a cat picture or a smiley face. It's yeah, the algorithm sees it as a comment, right? Check mark. If you love, it doesn't really matter. It'll boost it. Also, if you go like in the stories, if you notice, if you use stories, there's a polling feature, right? So it could be like, how hot are these shoes? Or, you know, one yes or no, that counts as comments. So for all of your stories, you should have at least one of those a day. If you're doing stories, put that polling feature in your stories, because that will boost you. Anytime I engage with your page, boosts it. That's the quickest way.
And it doesn't matter the people who are commenting how many followers they had. It's just the commenting generally.
Generally.
Like
Yep.
favoriting it, like the heart or any of that kind of thing on there.
You just it's sheer quantity. Yep, sheer quantity. Absolutely. Awesome. So that is the quickest way to be the algorithm. One of the ways. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Justin.
Awesome. And have a great rest of your session.
Thanks. And if you want to stay, we are having ice cream now.
What?
So, but thank you so much.
Heck yeah. Not a problem.